Hello everyone. In this particular video, we will be discussing about the functions in Python. So functions, as we know, are a block of organized reusable codes that is used to perform a single relatable action. So if we consider a scenario in which we have a large program, so what we can do is we can divide that program into smaller pieces of code such that each part is capable of performing an individual function. So this is achieved by using the functions in our program. Again, the functions can be either the built-in function like the print function that we use, or it can be the user-defined function. So in this video, we will be studying basically about how we declare a user-defined function. So let us start. Now let us consider a very basic example. To define a function, we write the keyword def followed by the function name. In this case, I'll call my function as greeting, and then we will put a pair of parentheses, that is round brackets, followed by a colon, and then I will write a set of statements that I want to include in this function. So over here I'll write print good morning. Now if I execute this, we will notice that no output was displayed. The reason is, in Python, to execute a function, we need to explicitly call the function. So now to execute this function, I will have to call it. To call this function, I'll again write the function name, that is greeting, followed by the parentheses. And now if I execute, here we go, we got the output. Now we can pass parameters in the functions as well. Suppose I need to define a function to add two numbers. For that, I'll again write def followed by the function name. In this, I'll call it as add, followed by the parenthesis. So inside the parenthesis, I will write the parameters that I need to pass to the function. So over here, I'll write x comma y, that is the two numbers that I need to add, and then a colon. And over here, I will write another variable z equals to x plus y, and I'll print this. Now let us verify. I'll again call the function, and since I have added two parameters to this function, I will pass the corresponding values. Suppose I say the value of x is equal to 10 and y is equal to 5. And now if I execute this, I got the output as 15, which is the sum of 10 and 5. Now suppose in this example itself, instead of printing the value of the sum of two numbers, I want to assign this value to another variable. So what I can do is, instead of printing, I can return the value of the sum of these two numbers. And over here, I can say another variable c equals to addition of 10 comma 5. And now if I print c, I got the same result, that is c was equal to sum of 10 plus 5. So this is how we can declare a function to return the required value. Not only this, a function can return multiple values as well. So if we consider the same example, and instead of add, I will write add subtract, and I want to define this function to give me the addition and subtraction of the two numbers. So I'll write a equals to x plus y, and that is the addition, and the difference d equals to x minus y. And over here I will return both the values separated by comma, that is a comma d. And now I will assign these values to another two variables. Suppose I comma j equals to add underscore sub, that is the name of the function, and inside this I will pass the two values, that is x equals to 10 and y equals to 5. And now if I check print sum equals to, so the first value that I returned represented the sum of two numbers. So over here the variable I will give me the sum of two numbers 10 and 5. So I will write I, and again I will write print difference equals to j. And now if I execute this, we got sum equals to 15, that is 10 plus 5, and we got difference equals to 5, that is 10 minus 5. So this is how we can return multiple values in a function. Now let us see another important concept of default parameters in functions. Let us take an example to see how we can use default parameters in a function. Suppose I define a function as def greet, and in this I will pass the parameter, say time, and I will give this parameter a default value as morning, and over here I will write print good, comma, time. So what I did was I defined the function named greet, I passed the parameter named time inside this function, and at the same time I also gave a default value for this parameter. So now if I try calling this function, to call I'll write greet. Since I've already given a default value for the parameter, I may not pass an argument to call the function. So now if I execute this, I got the output as good morning. So if we call this function without an argument, it uses the default value. Now if I call this function with an argument, I will write evening. And now if I call this, here we go, I got the output as good evening. So this is how we can use default parameters in our function. So that's all about functions in Python. If you liked the video, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.